begin in like a few minutes, maybe 2-3 minutes.
What's up, man?
Hey, Salman. We have 13 people. Let's get to 17, 18 before we start.
Yeah, let's get to. That's a good number.
Yeah. A few more.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome, salam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Welcome, Salam Sajjad.
Should we start?
Ji Maulana Sahab, maybe one more minute.
Okay.
Maybe a few more people. I know there's only
Sure.
14 right now, so
Okay.
let's see. Let me text some other people.
Do you have the link for this?
G. Mhm.
Link for
The Zoom session? Yes.
yeah. Can you send me?
Yes. I just sent it.
Okay, thank you.
I guess we could start. So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Thanks for taking the time out of your evening to join us this session. Inshallah, you will learn something new. I'd like to give a special thanks to Maulana Sahab for dedicating his time and providing all of his insightful knowledge. Please don't forget to tell your friends and family about these sessions that we're having once a month. And I've also created a WhatsApp group for information on youth events to keep you all updated. I'm sorry if I left anyone out, but if you'd like to join, please message myself, Aliyan Shamji, Sean Rizvi, Sajjad Naqvi, or Raza Muhammad to add you into the group. Next, I'd like to call up Aliyan Shamji to provide some information on today's session. Shamji, you're on mute.
All right, my bad. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. We'll be changing the format of this monthly discussion starting today. It'll comprise of 10 minutes of fiqh, the other 10 of tafsir, and then we're going to have history We're going to talk about history for about 20 minutes and then have a Q&A for the last 10 to 15 minutes. Also, please email any suggestions to improve these discussions at iecyouthgroup5@gmail.com. That's iecyouthgroup5@gmail.com. Now I'd like to introduce our favorite Maulana Said Mahbub Mehdi to begin the discussion.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين. I'm happy, alhamdulillah, to continue this dars and class session. And this is a session in which just we heard that we are going to divide it into 3 parts. I don't want it to be boring for you. Of course, Islamic knowledge is never boring, but still in little time, we need to learn much more because we have only once a month session. And as I said earlier, that I want all the youth to participate in this. So first session of our discussion is going to be 10 minutes in, 10 minutes is going to be for tafsir. 10 minutes is going to be fiqh, and 20 minutes history. We might go 5-10 minutes more. It depends on the situation and on the topic. So let's start very quick with tafsir. We will be starting with Surah Al Hamd. This is one of the most important surahs, as you know. Why? Because it is the surah which has been placed in Quran separately, separate from those 30 parts of Quran. If you ask anyone that in which part Surah Al Hamd is, he has no answer. Why? Because it is a separate surah, although it is part of the Quran. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed an ayah. Says, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِ وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ. O my Prophet, I have given you 7 that have been repeated, and I have given you Quran al-Azim. Many mufassirin, many those who explain the Quran, the scholars, they say that سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِ, 7 repeated is Surah Al Hamd. Why? Because Surah Al Hamd was revealed 2 times. Every surah, every ayat revealed 1 time. This was revealed 2 times. That's why it's called Mathani, means repeated. So Allah gave him Sab' al-Mathani, Surah Al Hamd, and gave him Quran. So this has been mentioned separately. And also, Quran is, of course, a preface of the whole book, whole Quran. Today, of course, we have very little time, and we'll go through the information mostly. And I will go into details only when I need, when I feel very much necessary. Otherwise, just kind of information, and you can take notes for that. Today, we'll discuss the names of Surah Al Hamd only. There are so many names for this surah. At least 2 of them you know. One Surah Al Hamd and one Surah Fatiha. When somebody says Fatiha, Fatiha means what? Read Surah Al-Fatiha, means Al Hamd. It has many more names. If you count the names of Surah Al Hamd, the number reaches to 25 and even more. But today we'll be discussing only 5 of those names because of the time that we have, limited time. Number one, it is Fatiha. Why it is called Fatiha and what does Fatiha means? Fatiha is from the root word fath, fataha. Fataha means to open. Since you open Quran with this surah, it's called Fatiha, Fatihatul Kitab, the surah which opens the book. So this is the opening. That's why. And it is recommended that you, if you start anything, you start with Bismillah, and if you read the whole Surah Al Hamd, it's going to be very beneficial for you and for your work and for whatever you want to do. Is good. Is going to give you a lot of blessings. Surah Al-Fatiha. When you read Fatiha for a deceased person and you say Surah Fatiha, we mean Surah Al Hamd. The second name is Al Hamd. Why is the name is Al Hamd? Is known. Why? Because the first word after Bismillah is Alhamdu. Alhamd means all praises Lillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the second name. Now third one is Ash-Shifa, Surah Ash-Shifa, the surah of cure. Shifa means cure. Since this surah is very effective to cure any disease, and we have plenty of hadith or riwayat. If I just keep mentioning those riwayat for you, which gives you the benefit of Surah Al Hamd for those who have any kind of illness or sickness, and how this surah is able to cure them, I will take the whole 1 hour and still I cannot cover all those riwayat. We have a riwayat from Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. He says that anyone who is sick, if Surah Al Hamd does not cure him, nothing can cure him then. Which means Surah Al Hamd is one of the surahs that gives you cure, give you recovery from any kind of disease, any kind of sickness. And another riwayat is really amazing riwayat. He says, لو قرئت الحمد على ميت 70 مرة ثم ردت فيه الروح ما كان ذلك عجبا. Imam says that if Surah Al Hamd is recited 70 times on a deceased person, no, on a deceased person means on a person who died, a dead person, and he comes back to life, ما ذلك عجب. This is not going to be something of, wonder. Why? Because Surah Al Hamd is so strong that if you read it on anyone, and 70 times for people who are sick, if you read it, Imam says, I guarantee you that if you read it correctly with all the conditions, 70 times on a sick person, he will be recovered. So there are so many more riwayat about Surah Al Hamd to be Surah Ash-Shifa, the surah of cure. But the funny thing is this. Now Surah Fatiha in our tradition became a surah for a different purpose. For example, don't try it openly before you explain it, but I'm going to tell you this. If you go to the hospital to see a sick person and you start saying Fatiha, please read one Fatiha for him, everybody is going to be very angry at you. What are you talking about? Is he dead? He's still alive. You want his life and you're reading Fatiha or him. So Fatiha became only something for deceased people who died. Fatiha means, oh, he's gone, he's no more. While Quran says this is Surah Shifa. I'm reading Surah Fatiha for his Shifa, but nobody will accept it from you. So I have to explain it before you read it, before you try it. Otherwise, you will be in trouble and problem. So this is Surah Shifa. Another name of Surah is Surah Ummul Kitab. Ummul Kitab, means mother, means foundation, and means essence. So this book is the foundation of Kitab, of Quran. Everything which is in Quran, you will find it in Surah Al Hamd. All the topics and subjects are summarized in Surah Fatiha, in Surah Al Hamd. That's why it's called Ummul Kitab, the essence of the book. All the topics, see, Usul ad-Din, Furu' ad-Din, the rights of Allah, rights of people, Tawheed, Adl, Nubuwat, Imamat, Qiyamat, Usul ad-Din, Furu' ad-Din, all Ibadat, Iyyaka na'budu. So everything is summarized in this very small surah of 7 ayat. It's called Ummul Kitab. One more name of this surah is Sab'a Mathani. In the beginning, remember I mentioned this ayat, Sab'a Mathani. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَاكَ سَبْعًا مِنَ الْمَثَانِ وَالْقُرْآنِ الْعَظِيمِ, Surah Anfal, ayat number 24. Allah says, oh my Prophet, I have given you Sab'a Mathani, 7 repeated, and I have given you Qur'anul Azim, Quran, which means this is a separate thing. Quran is a separate thing. Although it is Quran, of course, it's part of Quran, but still it weighs like the whole Quran. Another explanation of Sab'a Mathani that we have in our riwayat, in Tafsir Ahl al-Bayt, they say that Sab'a Mathani actually is Mathani, repeated, and Sab'a means 7. It should be something which is really should be equal to Quran in importance. And nothing and no one is equal to the whole Quran in this world except Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. Only those are equal to Quran. Why? The Prophet said, I am leaving behind 2 things, Quran and Ahlul Bayt. And Allah said, I am sending 2 things, Nur and Kitab. So these 2 are equal in importance. And what is the meaning of Sab'a then? 7 and repeated, because when you see the names of Ahlul Bayt are these 14 Ahlul Bayt, 14 infallibles, their names are 7. All names are 7. Muhammad, Ali, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, Ja'far, Musa. All other names are repeated. So 7 repeated means 7 repeated names. Anyhow, so these are the 5 names that I mentioned about Surah Al-Fatiha. The time is over for Tafsir class. Let's go quickly. I know you might have questions. Write your questions so we can, in one time, explain everything there. Now about fiqh. Fiqh means Islamic laws. Islamic laws, fiqh, is a knowledge that is necessary and compulsory and obligatory to learn for every Muslim and Muslimah. You should increase your knowledge in all fields, of course, but in fiqh especially. Why? Because whatever you do, you need to know that you are doing it correctly. Starting from wudu, let's say, it is not enough to know that you need to do wudu before salat. You need to know how to do wudu. And when you do wudu, what things can break your wudu? What things can invalidate your wudu? The same applies in all your life. Islam, the whole religion, is a code of life. Code of life. This is combination of laws. And this is the unique feature of Islam. This is the uniqueness of Islam. Islam is distinguished by this great feature, that Islam is constitution. Islam is laws, bylaws, and you have to follow it. There are many religions that you need to follow them or respect those religions in certain time, in certain place. But Islam is everywhere and every time. When you are at job, you have to follow Islam. You are in the masjid or Imam Bargah, you have to follow Islam. You are at home, you need to follow Islam. In the daytime, follow Islam. In the night, follow Islam. While awake, you need to follow Islam. Even while sleeping, follow Islam. So Islam is code of life. When Islam is code of life, you should know what is allowed, what is not allowed, what is haram, what is wajib, what is mustahab, and what is makruh, and what is mubah. These 5 things you need to know about them. How to know? Just reading the book is enough? Yeah, you need to read the books. This is true. But if you need to practice anything in Islam, let's say you are traveling and you need to offer your salat. Should you offer it qasr or you should offer it full? This is a question. Now you will go and find out in the books or online on the internet. But when you want to do that, how you do it? Are there rules and laws about it? And you just go and take from any website? No, there should be an authentic place. What do you mean by authentic place? It is this Islamic laws issue. I'm going to go and do my research at Qasr and I'll find out the answer. But the answer can come from anybody. Not everything in the internet is authentic. Then what you should do? You should make sure that it is from reliable source. Okay, so what is the reliable source? Say, any marja, who you follow. Okay, so the question comes, why a marja's website or a representative of marja or an alim who is explaining to you the answers of a marja, why it is authentic and why other sources are not that authentic? The reason is Islamic laws, as I said, the code of life. Who will explain to you these 5: wajib, haram, mustahab, makruh, and mubah? It should come from either Quran or Sunnah, the practice of the Prophet. These are the 2 sources of Islamic laws. But who will explain it? So you know that there is ijtihad and there is taqleed. What is taqleed? What is ijtihad? Of course, we have very little time to explain that. Very quickly, if I want to say it in 3 minutes, I can say this way. Taqleed means to follow a mujtahid. Mujtahid is a person who strives to derive the true answers for every question about Islamic laws. He derives that answer from Quran and from Hadith of Rasulullah and Ahlul Bayt. That he's supposed to have the knowledge of getting to the true sources and getting to the answer. Not everybody can do that. It needs research. The reason is, I want to know what the Prophet said. I want to know what the Prophet was doing in this situation. And there is more than 1400 years distance between me and the Prophet and his practice. So how I know? So I need to do research. This research is called ijtihad and takes a lot of time. And not everybody has this much time to dedicate his whole life in just doing the research and finding out every single answer, for, every answer for every single question. So alim, mujtahid, marja is a person who does his research. What is taqlid? Taqlid, a person who cannot do ijtihad. He doesn't have time. He's a doctor, he's an engineer, he's a scientist, he's someone who is busy in his daily life. He doesn't have time day and night to do research for every, because it's code of life, as I said, how I sit, how I talk, how I walk. So who will tell me? If I go and do my research, I don't have time. So I have to follow someone who has done the research already and let me benefit from his research. Just like you do in every field. Not necessarily, it is not necessary that everybody become a doctor. It's not possible. It is not possible everybody becomes an engineer. It's not possible that everybody, becomes everything. It's not possible. So you take the benefit of the knowledge of someone in his field. The same happens in fiqh. So we seek the help of mujtahid. In brief, some people, they don't understand taqlid. They say, why should we do taqlid? Why should we imitate someone? Why should we follow someone? Okay, no. If you don't know, if you don't need to follow, it's fine. Following taqlid comes in the third stage. In the first place, you need to be a mujtahid. Who said you should do taqlid in the first place? No. You do taqlid because you cannot do ijtihad. So it is an option for you to do taqlid. Otherwise, in first place, it is obligatory on you to go and do your own research and find out what Allah wants you to do and what Allah doesn't want you to do. You have to find out yourself. But if you don't have time to do the research, then you do taqlid. So in first place, be a mujtahid. It's fine. It's great if you become a mujtahid. So no, I cannot be a mujtahid. Then if you cannot be a mujtahid, then what? The second option is to do ihtiyat. Ihtiyat means precaution. What ihtiyat is? That there are several scholars. You say, I don't want to do taqlid. Okay, fine. There are many scholars who have done their own research and they have difference of opinion, which is very natural in academic world. If you go to a doctor, he will give an opinion. The other doctor will give another opinion. The third one, fourth, 7, 8, 10, maybe different opinions on one issue. And they do their own research. They have his own reasoning. The same in this field. In every field, if the field is progressive, there are difference of opinions. So there are difference of opinions among mujtahideen. Now, you don't want to do taqlid. You don't want to become a mujtahid. What to do? Do ihtiyat. Study all the mujtahideen and do your job in such a way that you become sure and certain that you have done your deed correctly. For example, a mujtahid says this is haram. Another mujtahid says, no, it's not haram, just makruh. So for the person who is doing taqleed, he will follow haram or makruh, whatever his mujtahid said. But you in between, which is ihtiyat, you should have great knowledge, and you do ihtiyat, means anything that mujtahideen are saying haram, he says makruh, you should not consider it makruh, you should consider it haram. And it becomes very hard for you to practice. Why? Because then all mujtahideen, whatever side is harder, you have to take it. Consider it haram. It's called ihtiyat. So in the first page, you will find in taqleed this explanation. The third option is taqleed. You cannot become a mujtahid, you cannot do ihtiyat, then you do taqleed. One more point in the end to conclude. Remember, taqleed is haram and taqleed is wajib. Taqleed is haram in your faith, in your aqaid. It is haram to say that I believe in Allah, Allah is one. How you say Allah is one? Because Ayatollah Sistani said that. If you say this, it is haram, is not allowed. Because aqaid, your faith, should be based on reasoning and your own research and your own understanding. Of course, again, with proper research and proper way. But in a'mal, in your practice, you need to do taqleed. So we are done for today for the fiqh. Let's go to the history. History is very interesting topic. And when I gave you the option, the youth, to select the topic, I was happy that they selected KHAYBAR, a battle of KHAYBAR. Battles are very important parts of Islamic history. Why? Because in these battles, you find almost everything. If you read the battles and you go into the details of the battle, your faith becomes strong. You become stronger Muslim or mu'min after finding out the details of every single battle. The second thing, there are so many ethical and moral messages in these battles. So we can improve our akhlaq, our character, by just looking to the details of the battles. And also, when we look to the battle, since it is part of history, this history connects us to our origin, to our reality, to the facts. If you are disconnected from the past, you cannot reach to your future. Quran has mentioned so many stories. Quran is not a book of stories. Quran is book of guidance. And when Quran is book of guidance, then why stories? It means stories has so many good messages in it. And the moral of every single story remains in your life and affects your life and gives you iman and make you a good mu'min, good Muslim, and good human being. That's why Quran calls those stories that Quran mentions أحسن القصص. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص. Oh, our Prophet, when we revealed these stories of starting from Adam, story of Adam, story of Nuh, story of Ibrahim, Ismail, and all the prophets and the nations. Very good stories in Quran. Quran called them ahsan al-qasas, best stories. Stories based on truth and reality. Why? Because Quran is kalamullah, is word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is mentioning those stories, and they are the best stories and true stories. Now, Khaybar is one of the battles in Islam. Most of the battles in Islam, or I can say all of them, were defensive wars. Although apparently some of them, they look like preemptive wars, but still they are the result of some issues that if you go into the depth, you will find that it was a defensive war. It was a war to fight the evil, to eliminate something wrong, to protect the society from something wrong. So all those battles. The first battle that took place in Islam was Battle of Badr. Inshallah, we might go through all those battles one after another. But since you asked me to speak about Khaybar is one of very interesting battles. Khaybar is a place in the Hijaz, close to Medina. It is not part of Medina, it's outer Medina. And after the Mushrikeen, the enemies of Rasulullah in Mecca, they fought against Rasulullah several wars. After Badr, including the Battle of Uhud and Khandaq and all those wars, and still they did not stop their conspiracy. The Prophet, when he entered Medina, he signed peace treaty with all other sects and other religions and people of other faith, including Jews and Christians, especially with Jews. He signed the peace treaty. But we don't have much time to go into the details that how these treaties were violated, and the Prophet was forced to take some action. Although the enemies were very strong and they had so many forts, more than 10. Many historians say there were 14 forts and huge forts and very strong ones they had. And they had a big, huge army, a lot of weapon, money, strength, everything. And Muslims were not that strong, apparently, but they had the strength of faith. In Battle of Khaybar, when this war started, the enemy not just they were strong on with their weapons and their numbers, but as I said, the force. So they had force. They went into the fort when the army came. They knew that the army cannot do anything. Why? Because there's huge property they had. The land was bigger than Medina itself. thousands of acres of land in KHAYBAR, and very fertile land. So they knew that they have a lot of resources. They can stay in their forts for months and months, and Muslims cannot stay outside to besiege them for long. They were very confident. The Prophet, when he entered there, the Muslims were wondering, Ya Rasulullah, how can we go to these very strong walls? These walls, we cannot break them. And they have the resources inside, they can live for months and months. And we don't have the resources to stay outside to wait for war. So they are inside the forts. War will never happen, and we have to go back. This was their strategy. Rasulullah said, we are going to conquer these forts in 40 days. 40 days, Rasulullah said. People said, okay, fine, 40 days is not much time, it's fine, we can stay for 40 days, it's okay. One day passed, second day passed, 3 days passed, 39 days. Nothing happened. Situation was the same. And Rasulullah said, 40 days. 1 day was left. So what is going to change in 1 day? What will happen in this single one remaining day? Rasulullah told them what will happen. In this war, this was Allah's maslahat. Allah knew that how to prove the truth. In every battle, always starting from Badr, in which Imam Ali alone, he killed more than half of the enemies. Half of the people who were killed, 70, he killed 36 alone. The same, he was the one in Jang Ahzab, in Uhud, in all battles, he was the hero. Here, he was not part of Islamic army. He was in Medina. He remained in Medina. Why? Because he was not feeling good, especially his eyes. He had some pain in his eyes. So he was not able to attend this battle. Some people were very happy. Why? Because they said, when Imam Ali is not here, so we have the chance to get the alam, to get the banner of Islam and to be the leader of this army, at least once in our lifetime. And really they got the chance. And if you read the history, some say not 40 days, it was 3 days. Some say it was 7 days, whatever. But the Prophet gave the chance of this alam to everyone. Go, I want you to win this battle. Take this alam. So all the histories, and you can find yourself, I will not give you much more, references, it doesn't help. Why? Because you need to do on your own research. But I will give you the facts. Rasulullah especially gave alam to Umar and Abu Bakr. One day to Abu Bakr, the other day to Umar, and said, take it and go, let's see what you can do. And they took the alam, went to the battlefield, and they ran away. And they came back. And the Prophet said, why you came back? I said, go and win the war. They said, Ya Rasulullah, I didn't leave the battlefield. It was the people. The army is, started running away first. Then I did. The army said, no, Ya Rasulullah, it's not us. It was him first who left. Whatever. Rasulullah said, okay, then I will give the alam to somebody else. Then to Umar. Now you go. Umar got the chance. Amazingly. See, this is 7th year of Hijrah. What year of Hijrah? 7th. Rasulullah never gave them alam before. Because Abu Bakr was not a person of war. Umar, he never in his life showed any kind of bravery. Never in his life. Show me if you find out. His only bravery you are aware to yell at the ladies, to say, Ya Rasulullah, let's kill these prisoners. Only this. This was his bravery. He never showed any kind of bravery, and he never stood firm in any battlefield. In every battlefield, almost every battlefield, he ran away, he fled. Why Prophet should give them the alam? The reason was that he wanted the people to recognize them. And when it comes to comparison, they can compare. Now the last day, whatever day it was, 40th day, or you say 7th day or 30th day, whatever day it was, when the Prophet saw that the army of Islam is not able to conquer the fort, and there were many forts, one of them, the biggest fort and the most, the strongest fort was fort of Qamus. Rasulullah said, La u'tiyanna. Now this is in Bukhari. I can give this example why, and this reference, so it becomes easy for you to find out. Bukhari, he writes this riwayat that the Prophet said, La u'tiyanna ar-rayata ghadan. I have seen you, everyone. Now 1 day left out of my promise. And when the Prophet promises, the promise should come true. Why? Everything depends on his promise. If, astaghfirullah, his promise is not true, then he's not true. Tomorrow I will give alam to someone. He didn't name anyone. Why he didn't name anyone? I don't know. It might be to, make it a challenge for everybody. I am going to give the alam to someone. He gave the qualities, not the name. Those people who say, why Quran doesn't have the name of Imam Ali? Quran has the qualities of Imam Ali. And this happened even in the Sirat of Rasulullah, that he did not name him. He just gave the qualities, so everybody knows that, see, no one has these qualities. So no one is him except him. Right? He said, tomorrow I'm going to give the alam to someone who is going rajulan karraran ghayra farrarin. This word is not in Bukhari, but in Bukhari it says, yuhibbu Allah wa rasuluhu wa yuhibbuhu Allah wa rasuluhu. I am going to give the alam tomorrow to a man, a young man who is going to be karrar, ghayra farrar. He will never run away. He will never leave the battlefield. Karraran. He is going to be so brave that he is going to win the war for sure. Yuhibbu Allah wa rasuluh. Allah and Rasul loves him. Yuhibbu Allah wa rasuluh, yuhibbuhu Allah wa rasuluh. He loves Allah and Rasul, and Allah and Rasul loves him. So this is the certificate the Prophet is giving. Everybody can claim Allah loves me. Or everybody can say, I love Allah, but nobody can claim that Allah loves me. Imam Ali, Rasulullah said, tomorrow I'm giving this alam to somebody. Umar says here that in my whole life, I never wished to have alam as I had the wish to that night to get this alam in my hand. See, here we say today the alam became bid'at. They say, oh, what is this alam? It is bid'at. Bid'at because you didn't get it, right? If you get the alam, it not becomes bid'at. The whole night they were waiting for the morning, that when the Prophet said in the morning, I'm going to give this alam. They were very happy. Why? Because the person who had all these qualities, he was not there. So they, okay, if I get this alam tomorrow, I can be proud forever, and my children until the day of judgment, my followers are going to be proud of this. See, he got this alam. He loves Allah and Rasul. Allah Rasul loves him. He is karrar. He is ghayrik farrar. And he says that in the morning, I was standing on my feet so that the Prophet can see me and give me the alam. But he looked around to everybody. He didn't find the face with these qualities. Then Allah called him. Nadi aliyan malhar al-ajaib. Call Ali ibn Abi Talib, who is going to manifest ajaib, wonders, who is going to show wonders. You will find him a support and a help in any time that you need him. So he called, where is Ali? People said he's in Medina. He said, I need him. This alam is for Ali. No one can get it except Ali ibn Abi Talib. The time is over. Let me take some 5 extra minutes from you to finish quickly this one. Imam Ali came. It is very interesting, but the time is limited we have. Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he comes, every single detail of this story is interesting and needs some points to discuss, to learn something from this story. When Imam Ali alayhi salam comes, Rasulullah gave him the alam. Ali, this alam is for you. Take it. These people were coming back every day without any result. I want you to go and fight حتى يفتح الله على يديك, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the victory, give the Islam victory on your hands. And he told him, don't come back until you win the war. Don't come back. Or don't move from them. Don't turn your back towards them until you come. So, okay. Imam Ali took the alam. He's going. Since Rasulullah told him, don't turn back. Without turning back, he had a question asked him while looking towards the fort. Ya Rasulullah, what should I ask them to do before I fight? He said, just ask them to accept Islam if they want, and they will be in peace. Imam Ali came and it started how the war started. When he came, the people in the fort, the inside, the army inside, this was their strategy. They would make noise, huge noise, in such a noise that would create a kind of fear and panic. And the Islamic army would come back. They did it again. They said, okay, many people are coming, they are going back. This young man is also coming. He will go back. Let's make noise. They started making noise. Imam Ali was just very calm and going forward until he reached to a place where there was a huge rock. Imam Ali had the alam in his hand. He placed the alam on the rock. The alam, which was made of wood, went inside the rock. When the the army saw this, the enemies, they said, Allahu Akbar. This is amazing. How can this person do this? So they said, now it means this is a different person from people who came before. And the army called Allahu Akbar. Imam Ali alayhi salam, he placed the alam. Antar came, Haris came, every battle has a detail. And you can go, there is a very beautiful movie on the internet, and you find it, KHAYBAR movie, very, very, very interesting. When Marhab came, he was the commander of commander-in-chief of the army, and he was the strongest man in their army. He came with his, the way he would come in the battlefield and shouted, "Do you know me? Who am I? Who you are? Ana alladhi sammatni ummi marhaba. I am the one who my mother called me. My mother named me Marhab." When he said this, because Marhab was a name at the time, Marhab. Everybody knew that Marhab is one of the greatest warriors of the time. Ana alladhi ummi, my mother named me Marhab. Imam Ali said, Ana alladhi ummi sammatni Haydara. I am the one whose mother has named him Haydar. I am Haydar. If you are Marhab, what Marhab? I am Haydar. And then the battle started, and how, Imam Ali alayhi salam killed him, and it was a mu'jiza. And really, after that, Imam Ali moved towards the fort. When they saw that Marhab is killed, of course, the fort was closed, but they closed it strongly more. Imam Ali, there was a trench. He passed that trench and went to the fort, and somebody from up hit him on his hand, and his shield was dropped. Now he didn't have a shield in his hand. What he should do? He came to the door of KHAYBAR and placed his two fingers inside and moved the door and lifted it in his hand. And the door was a door, all the historians write. Again, there are different opinions. Some say it was a door that 40 people would just hold this. That's so heavy. The minimum number of the people said that one of the Sahabi said after Imam Ali threw that door, we 7 Sahaba went to lift it, but we were not able to lift it. 7 Sahaba were not able to lift it. 7, but there are 40 number also. This huge power of Imam Ali alayhi salam in this battle. But still, you see on the other hand, you will find his many miracles there. And he said, "Ma qala'tu bab khaybarin biquwwatin ismani." I did not, break this KHAYBAR door with my bodily power. It was my power, Rabbani power that Allah has given me. Why? Because it was something amazing that people see even the Sahaba, they said 7, even if it is 7 people, and he took it in his fingers like this, just like nothing.
Close your eyes right away.
So people should not consider him like Rabb, or Allah himself, na'udhu billah, as you know, the Nusayri said. So he, to give them the message, see, everything I did today, it was from power of Allah. So that people know that Imam Ali alayhi salam has all the powers, but his powers from Allah. When I was reading this in one of my majalis, one, you know, somebody he said, if this is power of Allah, then Imam Ali has no merit. Then what is the merit of Imam Ali then, if it is power of Allah? I said, this is the merit of Imam Ali, that power of Allah yesterday was there, before was there. Why power of Allah only came in the hands of Imam Ali alayhi salam? Why not in the hand of anybody else? This is the merit from Ali. Imam Ali alayhi salam was the one that who made the Islamic army victorious at that time, and alhamdulillah, the KHAYBAR was conquered. And then the Fadak also is related to this, but I'm not speaking on Fadak today, some other day, inshallah. I know I could not maybe explain everything because of the time. Still, we went over the time, but still you have some time to, if you have any questions, any comments on this.
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana.
Alaikum assalam.
Do you remember the Bukhari, the specific Bukhari source on when you said that Prophet Muhammad was going to give the alam to someone who is, going to be very brave?
See, it is very easy. You just Google KHAYBAR and Bukhari. You will find it right away, like this.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes, very simple and easy.
Okay, and my other question was,
and see that he says that I am going to give alam tomorrow. It doesn't have in Bukhari, it doesn't have the word karraran ghayra farad. It has the word yuhibbullah wa rasuluhu, yuhibbuhullah wa rasuluhu. He loves Allah and Rasul, and Allah and Rasul loves him. Tomorrow I will give it to such a person. What does this mean? It means the people who went before, either they don't love Allah and Rasul, or Allah and Rasul don't love them. Very clear, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, great. And another question was, some people, they don't believe that Nadi Ali, the poem was revealed at that time during KHAYBAR, how Prophet Muhammad said Nadi Ali and Imam Ali came.
Yeah.
Some people say that no, this was not a, how we always say Nadi Ali as a kind of dua. It's not. It never came from there.
Yeah. Actually, yes. If you go to the authenticity of riwayat, it's hard to find this Nadi Ali in this story. But Nadi Ali actually means call Imam Ali, and this is what happened. So this is a kind of part of a story. The reality, not necessarily that these wordings were revealed from Allah. No, it means that when this happened, what did Rasulullah say? Where is Ali? Where is Ali? Means Imam, he called Imam Ali. This is the point. Not the point what words did he use. But Nadi Ali is more famous because of this, with the reference of this situation. It doesn't mean that, yes, it was a revealed, Jibreel came and gave the Nadi Ali to Rasulullah. No. But the situation was such that Rasulullah called Imam Ali, and Imam Ali, Mazharul Ajaib. He really showed the Ajaib, things which were really wondering. Amazing thing. Correct? So the wordings of Nadi Ali are right. It's called, the text is correct, but the narration is hard to find.
I see.
It applies in all du'as, in everything, many things it applies, that you will not find connection of narrators in everything.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Ali and Raza asked a question in the chat. He asked like 3 questions actually. So
Okay.
you can check the chat.
What is that? Ali and Raza?
In the Zoom group chat.
Okay, so where do mujtahids get their knowledge from? From Quran and Hadith. They do the research and get the knowledge from Quran and Hadith. We also can get the knowledge from Quran and Hadith, but our knowledge will be limited. That is the research work. Just like you can get something, and a person who is PhD on a subject, he also knows something, and you may know something that he knows. It doesn't mean that your knowledge is equal to him. The second question is, do they speak to Imam? They don't claim to speak to Imam, but yes, Imam helps them. When they said Muhammad was with me, he was, I think, 4 or 5 years old, and we went to see Ayatollah Sistani and Ayatollah Sayyid Al-Hakim. So he would ask every Ayatollah, did you see Imam? Did you see Imam? And of course, the Ayatollah will not say, oh, yes, I saw Imam. They said, see, we seek help from Imam. Imam helps us. That's it. Even if they see Imam, they will not claim it. They will not say it. Okay. What is Harun? 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 What is that? What are you talking about, guys? Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Sir, when you said that you have in the starting of your speech, you said that if you read Surah Fatiha or Alhamdulillah 70 times with certain conditions, can you explain those conditions or where to find those conditions?
Yeah. Number one, the condition should be your ikhlas, your sincerity, and your certainty, your yaqeen that when you read it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give you the effects and the results that you like in anything, not just for sick people, for anything. Surah Fatiha is very much effective. So the first condition is your khulus, ikhlas, your sincerity and your yaqeen. And the second is that you should be pure and pak, not with najasat. Do wudu appropriately and do all those things. The third condition is that you read it correctly. Inshallah, one day we'll discuss the reading of that, how to read it correctly. Like, for example, many of you read Al Hamd. That is not right. You need to correct it. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is not right. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is correct. So correctly, if you read it and read it with sincerity and with certainty in yaqeen and tawakkul on Allah, you will see the wonders with Surah Al Hamd. Wonders, believe me. And you can try it, inshallah. Any other comments? Okay. So we're done for now. What do you think what we should discuss next? Next week, I'm going to discuss these two things, but in the history, what you like to discuss in history? You want me to discuss Fadak?
I mean, discuss anything you want. I don't know. You know.
Because nowadays one of Khariji means the enemies of Ahlul Bayt are called Khariji, who are enemy of Imam Ali, Nasibi Khariji. Those people has insulted Janabi Fatima Salamullah Alaiha by saying that when she asked for her right Fadak, she was wrong, na'uzubillah. She was wrong in asking her Fadak. So there is an uproar about it, and other Sunni scholars are actually speaking against this. So this is one of the hot issues nowadays in Pakistan. If you want, I can discuss that or anything else if you want, or I will choose one of the topics.
Could we go over maybe one day about the Battle of Nehrawan, which is also about the Khariji? Because, you know, there's not much I really don't know about it. You know, that Imam Ali and his army fought against, you know, those
Kharijis.
Kharijis, but I don't know much about what happened really, you know, anything special, anything like that. So maybe something about that.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so the one hour is over already. I took a little bit more time. I don't know how to manage this. Either I reduce the topics, maybe keep 2 topics at a time, not 3, or what to do. Give me your suggestions.
Yeah, I think maybe reduce number of topics and allow a little bit more time for questions and comments.
Yeah.
Maybe it depends on the topic. If it's like a short topic, then we could do short topics, like 3 short topics. And if it's like a big topic, like 1 big topic for like an hour.
Yeah,
Depends.
I think this is a good idea. If it is a big topic like today's topic was about KHAYBAR, we could just, just discuss only KHAYBAR. But see, those topics are, also now you have your homework. You can do some research on Surah Fatiha, and also you can do some research on taqleed and the importance of ijtihad and taqleed, right? So these 2 things. And in KHAYBAR, Imam Ali was the only one who always, he was the only bravest person in Islamic history. But if you talk to our Sunni brothers, if you ask them who was the strongest, toughest man, they say Umar was very brave. What was his bravery? You will not find any kind of bravery from him. But Imam Ali, always in every battle, only because of him, Muslims were victorious always. So Imam Ali alayhi salam, we should be proud of him, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you more tawfiq and more knowledge, inshallah, and give us tawfiq to be closer to our Allah and to our Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, to Imam Ali alayhi salam. Okay, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's read the dua of Imam Zaman. Somebody can read it for me, for all of us.
Okay. I can do that.
Yes, go ahead.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Maulana.
في أمان الله.
في أمان الله.